get my email. As a new member of the JP Morgan Chase team, I noticed that I now am part of an elite club that sends or receives over 150 emails a day. 150 emails a day is a large number of emails for anyone to manage, let alone respond to, and then actually do work from. What happens when you have this many emails is a number of problems. One, email becomes a primary means of communication. Two, I spend a lot more time actually managing my email inbox instead of actually working. And three, it's not even the best way to communicate. So what I'd like to discuss with you today is ways that we can fight off the email monster and maintain our work days in a manageable fashion. Who knows what we did before 1990 and email was created? However, we did talk a lot more face-to-face. We did a lot more communication in person and working together to solve problems in a quick and expedient manner. Sometimes you see the assiduous personnel running around following their email chain and not actually getting anything done. However, they're up on their email, but their team is lacking behind. So now, I would like to throw the challenge out there that we work on working as a team, getting into a small room, and solving those problems and get that communication answered in a quick and efficient manner. What happens when you email is a lot of poor communication. Sometimes I've seen emails go around because people are confused about the last email. And then a person who's not really involved and missed one email will chime in and say, what's going on with this issue, which then starts a whole new email chain. This is one of those circular problems that does happen often with email. And email has become a primary means of communication now. Meetings. Meetings are also a good thing to have. However, we do a lot of teleconferencing here at JP Morgan Chase. When you're teleconferencing, that means some people are actually on their computers working on their email. So that means they're doing multitasking while they're multitasking. When you multitask when you're multitasking, you're not able to actually do one task. You're simply half doing numerous tasks. When you have to do numerous tasks, then you're unable to actually get anything done, which leads to either more meetings or more email. What we have to do is try and find ways to combat this. If we actually pay attention to some of our calls, we can get some decisions made. We get decisions made, an email follow-up is not really required. I looked at my Outlook calendar today, and for tomorrow, which is terrible, but it has back-to-back meetings. And I'm talking 9 o'clock, I was going to say 09, 9 o'clock until 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of my team's in Texas, so we have to work within their time constraints, and that leads to a little extra work on this side. But a lot of those discussions and conversations that we're having are follow-ups from today's calls. Today's calls were almost back-to-back. I had a half an hour of white space in there that I was able to go to the coffee break room and have a little coffee, and one of my coworkers was able to go to Panera Bread for me. However, still wired up, ready for sound in case anyone called me. Because as a project manager, my job is to communicate. If I'm not communicating efficiently and effectively, then projects fail. However, I can't inundate my teams with emails and poor communication. Therefore, I find myself making sure that I articulate what I want to say and what we want to accomplish with the project in an efficient manner. A lot of times, you'll see people not using email or using email as the best way to communicate, when in fact, it's actually the third best way to communicate. The first being face-to-face. When you have that face-to-face interaction, you're able to convey some body language. Show people the inflection in your gestures. And when you can do that, some people can take away a little bit more saying, when Aaron meant this, he means we need to have it done today. And that gets a little bit more force behind some of those items. Phone. Number 2 method. You hear the tone, you hear the inflection in people's voices. You understand there could be some sense of urgency and passion behind someone's voice when they're on the phone. And then finally would be email. Email, oftentimes, and you can see this on the communicator as well, where you don't understand the chimes and then the pitches and the different innuendos people are trying to make in their communication. So you have to be very careful with email, because if you think something's a joke and someone takes it as not a joke, well then you may have offended someone. So we have a miscommunication there. what I like to propose is going back, getting that synergy, working as a team in a small room, getting things accomplished. Get your team together, get them in a conference room, and solve those problems. If you have numerous nodes that you have to communicate with, have them centralized as much as possible, get them away from those computer screens, and let's get our problems solved. Get those those questions answered, and get those problems solved in the first time around so we don't have to use email as the primary contact method. And finally, I want to say that email is a tool. It is a tool that can be used to assist us, but it should not be a crutch. At this point in time, I'm out of the office. Thank you.